Hi, the 72 Daystar out on a walk-in vlog. I'd been patronizing Mars Hill Korea. It's a Facebook page where we discuss issues related to religion and so forth for a few weeks now, a few months now maybe. I kind of dropped out because there was one posting that was put up that kind of really, I don't know why I really avoided it. I think one of the reasons is that I thought I would be too angry if I addressed it, and then that wouldn't really facilitate anything. So I just stepped away from it. What it was there was this posting that depicted this little black angel and this little baby angel up in heaven looking down, and the little black angel says, well, you know, they didn't regard me as fully human either. And that cartoon literally made me nauseous, and it just really turned me off of really engaging it in a serious way. So why was that? I think it was a territorial thing. Like secular humanists, I don't know if I consider myself a secular humanist, but I'm somewhere in that ballpark. That's our turf. Human rights is our turf. And really, the abortion issue is a human rights issue, because we're talking about women having the power to determine what happens to their own bodies. That's the human rights issue that's at hand. But the main point was not the cartoon. The main point was the argument called Sled. It's an acronym that stands for size, level of development, environment, and degree of dependency. So, but they all break down basically to two issues, I think. That doesn't make a very good acronym. Size is really irrelevant. I agree. No one's arguing that. If they have, they haven't really thought about it. Level of development is absolutely key. If the living thing we're talking about isn't capable of suffering, isn't capable of missing a life that it never knew, then there's no foul. Secular morality, for me, is based on harm. If there's no harm, then there's no moral significance to it. If the act doesn't hurt anyone, there's no moral significance to the act. So it's really simple. I could have probably done this video in something in the range of 30 seconds if I just said, okay, abortion. It's not wrong because there's no one sentient harmed. What does harm sentient people is when these people, I was just watching a video where these people were standing out, kind of standing guard outside an abortion clinic, harassing people, literally harassing people, and making what was probably normally going to be a pretty miserable day even a little bit more miserable. That, for me, that's a moral wrong. Real people that are able to suffer are being made to suffer. The fetus is not capable of that. So there's no moral significance to eliminating it. I would agree. I would add the caveat that, yeah, people should be responsible about reproduction. Bringing someone into the world is a very serious undertaking. But this Sled argument fails, in my opinion, because it doesn't. I think it would only make sense to people who did assume that there was a soul at stake there. So what it represents is an attempt to make a non-supernatural argument against abortion. And I think it fails because there's no real harm, and we should base our morality on where there's real harm being done. Harming people is wrong. I think everyone can agree on that. But if there's no person, and that's the other point of difference, we don't regard a little fetus that doesn't have a developed brain as a human. Now, it looks like a baby, and so if you have had the stomach to look at one of those nasty videos that abortion activists, anti-abortion activists put up to try to, pull on people's emotional strength. And they work because, well, they work for the same reasons that pornography works. You're not interacting with a real woman there, but if you're a heterosexual guy and you see a really good-looking woman, and you see her body, you react to that. We're programmed to do that in a way. And in the same way, when you see a little helpless baby, something that looks like a baby, you react to that. Because we're kind of programmed to do that through evolution. So, how do I want to wrap this up? Well, I'm glad I did take the time to think about this argument. I'm glad I didn't do it in an angry fashion, but I don't know. I really did take exception at that cartoon that tried to portray it as a human rights issue. It is a human rights issue, but it's the women's rights that we're concerned about, not a fetus's, because fetuses don't make the cut as far as people go, and so they don't get people rights. To me, that's perfectly reasonable. I'd love to hear someone try to articulate a argument against abortion that doesn't invoke spirits or the supernatural. I don't think you can. Mind you, if someone could tell me that, say, for example, in a third trimester abortion, if the baby is showing signs of things like, I don't know if they could measure their brain waves and so forth. What I've been told is that they're in a state of unconsciousness. And I think actually describe it as a state of unconsciousness might be a category error, because it's not a thing that's at this time capable of consciousness. So that was one of the sort of equivocations that was a problem in the dialogue, as we were saying, well, if someone's unconscious, like a fetus, is it okay to kill them? I think Peter mooted that, and everyone, of course, said, no, it's not okay, because you could explore, well, why is it wrong to kill people? It's not just wrong to kill people because it's painful, it's wrong to kill people because you deny them the future they hoped for, the future that they conceived of, the future that they planned about, the future that their family and friends counted on them being there. You harm the community as well as the individual. And just because someone goes to sleep, obviously, doesn't eliminate your right to life there. But something that has never been conscious, and certainly something that is not capable of being conscious in that way, doesn't get those rights. That's my thoughts. If you have a different one, you know what to do. Comment below. 72 Daystar out.